Years later, one of the first project management jobs I had was to sell a new software to the operations department. My audience was a group of leaders across the country. This was the largest group I'd ever presented to, and I always avoided presentations if possible. But because I was asked personally, I knew I had to rise to the challenge. Before presenting, I developed instructions, tested the software, created a presentation script, and practiced aloud several times. During the first of several meetings, I was stressed and nervous, but I projected a calm voice and smiled while on camera. Questions were asked that I didn't have the answer to, but I wrote them down and promised to get back to the group. I felt great after completing that first meeting, but to reassure myself, I asked a trusted peer for feedback, and she told me it was confusing. I was devastated, but knew I had to present this several more times and didn't want the same result. So I asked her for more details and ended up rewriting my script before the next meeting. The rest of the meetings, I watched the faces of the audience for any sign of not understanding. I paused throughout the presentations to allow questions, and when questions were asked, I would smile and nod my head. I made sure to use reassuring tones and worded my responses in a way that praised them for asking. Once after I'd given my response, a person scrunched up their lips and looked to the side deep in thought. So I gave them an example and demonstrated the question in the system. I was relieved when the presentations were complete, but didn't know if that last-minute script change had helped. I got feedback from my boss who thought it was great, and later that week I was asked to present to other states. Since then, I have been given several other project management jobs. Had my colleague not given me direct feedback, my project management career would have been over before it started. The first thing I did right in this situation was have the self-confidence to take on the challenge. Asking for feedback is hard, especially when it isn't what you were prepared to hear. But I used my self-control to overcome my identity trigger, which is the unraveling of your sense of self. I watched the participants' body language, which provided immediate feedback and allowed me to respond appropriately. I used my body language and tone of voice to encourage participation and ask questions. Thank you for listening to my experiences. I hope they help you in your behavioral growth.